Alright guys, welcome to the course on Advanced Python. In this course, we will cover a lot of advanced and very useful stuff in Python. I will go in as much depth as possible with real examples, and then using this advanced concept, we can also make real-time applications in Python. So this course is going to be really fun and awesome, and I'm looking forward to see you in the course. Alright guys, in this video we will cover about string, integer and floating data type variable. Before that, you need to understand what actually variables are. Now a variable is actually a placeholder for text and number, and it is actually a memory address that can change, and when the address cannot be changed, then that variable is known as constant. Now a variable must have a name so that you are able to find it again. The variable is always assigned with the equal sign followed by the value of that variable. So let's say I will name my variable as a, and now I can put it equal to any value I want. So let's say I will store some integer value inside this variable, and that integer value is, let's say, 10. And now in here, if I just type print, and now instead of typing here 10, I can specify the name of that variable in which this value 10 is stored. So in this case, it is a. Alright, and now if I just run it, it will print out the result 10. Now I can store some string value inside this variable as well, and let's say that string value is wow, what a great shot. Alright, and now if I just run it, you can see this string on the console screen. Alright, now I can name my variable something like this as well, like abc equal to this string. And now in here I just need to specify the name of the variable in which that string is stored. So now if I just run it, you can again see the same output on the console screen. Alright, and now let's say that I have two variables a and b. So in here I have a equal to some integer value, and then b equal to some integer value as well. Now I can perform arithmetic operation between these two variables as both contain integer values. So in here I can now just specify a plus b, and now what it will do is that it will print out the sum of both of these values 10 and 5 that are stored in a and b. Alright, and now if I just run it, you can see 15 on the console screen. Now similarly, I can perform the minus operation between these two numbers. So just run it, you can see 5 on the console screen, and now I can multiply these two numbers as well using this static symbol. So now just run it, and you can see 50 on the console screen. And now I can divide them as well. So just run it. The result is 2. Alright, now I can use another arithmetic operation, and that is modulus operation. Alright, now what this operation will do is that it will divide a by b, and then will print out the remainder value after dividing a by b. So just run it. So the remainder value after dividing a by b is 0. Alright, now let's say I have another variable as well, and that variable is known as c, and I will put it equal to, let's say, 10 as well. I will put it equal to 10. And now in here, I can just type a plus b plus c and run it. So this is how we can add more than two variables as well. Now we can create a separate variable d and put it equal to a plus b plus c. And now in here, I can type d and run it. You can see the same output on the console screen. Alright, now let's say I have two variables a and b. A contains some integer value while b contains some string value, and that string is, let's say, wow. And now if I just try to add these two variables a plus b and run it, it will throw an error saying that the type array is not supported because we cannot concatenate a string with an integer value, but we can put them together using the comma symbol. So in here, if I just type a comma b and run it, this time we are not getting any error. So we can put them together using the comma symbol. So yeah, this is what variables are, and this is how we can perform arithmetic operation between variables. So I hope that you like this video, and if you have any questions, feel free to contact me through email, and I will definitely get back to you as soon as I can. Up till next video, thank you for watching, and I will see you guys next time. Hey guys, in this video I'm going to be talking everything about conditional statements in Python. Now conditional statements are used to execute only a specific portion of a code based on some condition. Decision making is required when we want to execute a code only if a certain condition is satisfied. And when we consider our real-time scenario, we make some decisions and based on those decisions, we take further actions. Now the similar situation arises in the programming languages as well, where we have to make some decisions and based on that we will execute the program. So the first conditional statement I want to teach is the if statement. So for this I will create two variables x and y and I will put it equal to, let's say, 5 and 8. Now this is one way of assigning values to variables. So the first variable x is equal to the first value 5 and then the second variable y is equal to the second value 8. Alright, and now I will use the if statement. So I will type if, and in here I will use brackets. Well, even if you don't use bracket, it will still work, but I'm using bracket just to make things look simpler. Now inside this bracket, I will specify any condition that I want to check. So let's say that I want to check if x is less than y or not. So if x is less than y, then this thing will return true, and it will come inside the body of the if statement, and we will print out, let's say, this is an if statement and x is less than y. Alright, so it will check this condition, x is less than y, and if it is, then it will come inside the if block and will execute each and everything we have inside the if block. So now if I just execute this code, you can see that it has successfully printed out this thing on the console screen because this condition is true, because we know that x is less than y. So that is why it comes inside the if block and execute each and everything it has inside. Alright, now let's say that if that condition is false. So in here, let's say that if I check x is greater than y or not, and now this time let's see what we have on the console screen. Alright, so you can see that our program is finished without printing out anything on the console screen. And this is because it first of all checked this condition, and since this condition is false, so it also skipped whatever we have inside the if block. Alright, now let's say that even if the condition is false, you still want to print something on the console screen. So for this we will use the else statement. So in here I will type else, I will print this is an else statement and x is not less than y. Alright, and now if I just execute this code, oops, I think this should be, well, doesn't matter. Well, first of all it checked this condition, and since this condition was false, so it skipped this condition and it comes inside this block else and prints out this thing on the console screen. So whenever this thing is false, it will come inside the else block and will execute it without checking any condition, because in here inside else block we are not checking for any condition. We are just saying that, alright, if this thing is false, then just simply execute this line of code. Simple as that. But let's say that you want to check multiple conditions. So for this we can use a statement called elif, which basically stands for else if. Alright, so now we can check for some further condition. So let's say I want to check if both of these values are equal or not. So for this I have to use this double equal sign, because I'm not assigning the value of x to y, but I'm checking if both of these variables are equal or not. So if that condition is true, then I will print out both values are equal. Alright, so now let's say that I will specify 8 here. Now both have the value of 8, and now if I just run it, you can see that it executed this line of code and skipped both of these statements. And this is because first of all it checked, alright, this condition is false, so I should check this condition. But since this condition is true, so it prints out this thing on the console screen. But if both of these conditions were false, then it will have to execute this line of code without checking for any further conditions, because in this else statement we do not check any condition. we execute it when all the conditions were false. Alright, now there may be some possibilities where you have to use an if statement inside another if statement. So an if statement within another if statement is known as nested if. So first of all, let me just get rid of each and everything. And now let's say that I have a variable number and I put it equal to 50. Alright, now in here I will say if that number is greater than 50, then I'm going to print, or in here we will just specify if that number is less than or equal to 50, then I will print number is greater than 50. And now in here, inside this if statement, inside the body of this if statement, I will have another if. And now let's say in here I will check if that number is less than or equal to 40, then I will print number is even smaller than equal to 40, or else I'm using this else statement for this if statement because it is inside the body of this if statement. So in here I will type print number is not less than 40. Alright, now first of all we have this if statement, and now inside this if statement I have another if statement, and now inside this if statement I'm checking if that number is less than or equal to 30, then prints out this thing on the console screen, or else if that number is not less than or equal to 30, then prints out this thing on the console screen. Alright, so now for this if statement, basically this outer if statement, I will have this else statement, and I will say print number is out of range. Alright, and now if I just run it, you can see that it first of all check if that number is less than or equal to 30, and since that this number is equal to 50, so it prints out this thing on the console screen. So in here it should be greater than or equal to, but it doesn't matter. So, and then inside this if statement it is looking for another if statement, and it looks that if that number is even less than or equal to 30, and since that number is not less than or equal to 30, so it skipped this statement, and then it comes inside the else part and saying that this number is not less than 40. So this is how we can use an if statement inside another if statement. So I hope that you like this video. Now there is one more type of conditional statement known as switch statement, but I'm going to be teaching you that as we move on further in this crash course. So for this video, thank you so much for watching, and if you have any questions, feel free to contact me through email and I will definitely get back to you as soon as I can. Up till next video, thank you for watching, and I will see you guys next time. Hello guys, in this video I'm going to be teaching you a very important concept in Python known as dictionary. Now dictionary in Python is used to store elements of same or different data types, and then in order to access these elements we assign it a key. So every element in a dictionary must have a key so that later on we can access it. So right now I'm going to create a variable in which I will store this dictionary, and I will put it equal to this flower brackets. Now this flower bracket will tell Python that alright, I'm going to create a dictionary, and now inside this dictionary I will have different elements of different data types, and then each element must have a key so that later on I can access it. In dictionary, first we specify the key and then its value. So let's say for the first value, the key of it will be banana and the value of it will be yellow. So I need to put this colon to assign this key a value. So now this banana is the key and then this yellow is the value of it. So now for the second element, we can separate it with this comma, and now for the second element, the key of it will be, let's say, apple, and the value of it will be equal to red. and then for the third value, the key of it will be, let's say, cherry, and then the value of it will be red. Alright, so now we have these values, yellow, red, and red, and then the keys of it is cherry, apple, and banana. So now we can access these elements yellow, red, and red with these keys cherry, apple, and banana. Now let's say that I want to access this element red from the dictionary. So I can access it using this key apple because the key of this value red is apple. So now in here I will print this value red. So in here just type print, and now first of all I need to specify the name of the dictionary from where I want to access that item. So in this case it is X, and now inside this square bracket I can specify the key whose value I want to access. So in this case I want to access this value red, and then the key of it is apple. So right in here I need to specify apple, and now if I just run it, you can see red on the console screen because the value red has a key of apple. So we must specify its key in order to access this element red. Now similarly I can access this element yellow using this key banana. So right in here, if I just change it to banana and run it, I should be able to see yellow on the console screen, and here it is. Alright, now you can print this whole dictionary just by specifying the name of this dictionary right here and run it. And now you can see this whole dictionary with values and their keys. Now as I told you that we can access different data types elements in this dictionary as well. So now let's say that I will have another element in this dictionary, and then first of all the key value of it is will be 4, and then the value of it will be some integer value, let's say it is 4. And now we can access this element 4 with this key value 4. So now in here if I just type 4 and run it, you can see this digit 4 on the console screen. Now similarly, just like we have string keys, we can have integer keys as well. So now let's change this key to some integer value, and in here just change it to 4. Alright, and now if I just in here if I just change it to 4 and run it. Alright, so now you can see this value 4 on the console screen whose key is 4. Now similarly I can have integer keys and integer value as well. So right in here if I just change it to, let's say, 44, so now the key is basically 4, and then the value of this 4 is 44. Alright, and now if I just run it again, I should be able to see 44 on the console screen, and here it is. Alright, now dictionaries in Python is mutable, which means that we can insert items in a dictionary, we can update them, and then we can delete them as well. So let's say that I want to update this item red to something else, or this yellow to something else. So for this I first need to access this key banana. So right in here, if I just get rid of this line of code, and first of all I will type the name of the dictionary, and now its key value, which is banana, because I want to update this value yellow, so I need to access it first of all with its key banana. And now let's say that I will put it equal to some other color, let's say green. Alright, and now if I just print this whole dictionary, so just type print X and run it, you can now see that the color, the value of the key banana is changed to green because we have changed it right here. Now similarly, we can delete items in a dictionary as well. So for this we can use the built-in attribute in Python known as del. So now let's say that I want to delete the last, let's say this element red. So for this I need to first of all access its key element. So in here first of all I will specify the name of the dictionary, and then the key whose value I want to delete. So in this case I want to delete this value red whose key is cherry. Alright, so now if I just print out this whole dictionary and run it, you can now see that cherry is now successfully deleted from the dictionary. So once you delete the key, its value is automatically deleted from the dictionary as well. Now let's say that you want to delete every item in this dictionary. So for this we use the built-in method in Python known as clear. So first of all just type x dot clear. And now if I just run it, and now you can see that all the keys and its values are successfully deleted from the dictionary, but we still have a dictionary. Now let's say that you want to delete that dictionary as well. So for this, just type del and then the name of the dictionary that you want to delete. And now if I just run it, I will get an error because I have deleted this dictionary and still I'm trying to print out. And now you can see that we have this error saying that name error, name X is not defined, because it is throwing an error because we have deleted this name X right here. So now Python does not have the record of this dictionary and it throws an error saying that this name is not defined. So this is how we can delete items from the dictionary as well. And now one last thing I want to teach is, let's say that you want to access all the keys of these values. So for this, we use the built-in method known as keys. So just type the name of the dictionary whose keys you want to access and call this method keys. And now if I just run it, you can see that we have this dictionary's keys and all the keys are printed out on the console screen. So yeah, that is it for this video. In the next video, I will teach you about list and tuple, and then I will explain the difference between them as well. So up till next video, thank you for watching and I'll see you guys next time.